This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
It's a poo part on it, but you're seeing my man David Furones there. So just to kind of fill you in on what's going on, Poupart is on vacation for 3 weeks. So my man Furones is filling in. So the open stays the same, and he'll be back. But Furones is doing his thing, and hopefully, by the way, down the line we will add Furones on a permanent basis. I am working on that. And by the way, if you guys if you got a business and wants to sponsor David Furones' segment, reach out to our business line at 786-754-4664. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm doing well, Big O. How are you? Maybe I should get an Expos hat, something.
Yes.
Yeah, I could grab a Marlins hat too.
Yeah, you need a Marlins hat. Oh, he's a Canadian, so he's got to wear the Expos hat. You know, it's just that the bitterness of losing it, and listen, I feel for all Expos fans, kind of like I feel for Sonics fans.
Yeah.
Like they never deserved to lose their basketball team. It wasn't their fault. They supported their team. It was just, whatever, the politics of not getting a new arena and update Key Arena and all that stuff. So I get all of that. But I feel for him, man. It's kind of like when the Browns lost their team too, that it was unfair. That kind of stuff.
Base there, yeah. I don't remember all the ins and outs. I mean, obviously, I was watching baseball. I was kind of young, but yeah, when the Expos made the transition to the Washington Nationals, as far as knowing all the politics to it, maybe I got to ask Poupart about it one day when he's wearing those Expos hats.
Well, but if you do that, if you ask him from a distance, because he might get rage and start swinging and shit. You know what I mean? So, you got to watch out. These Canadian people are really nice until you take something from them. Then they're a little pissed right now. So you got to watch out with Poupart. He's a pissed off Expos fan. So,
and I usually sit close to him in the media interview room. So I got to watch my distance.
Just say love Expos, and you'll be fine. Just love Expos, and he's good. All right, so what happens first, Dame Lillard or Dalvin Cook? Who gets to Miami first?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing today. I was thinking of putting that as a Twitter poll or something to see who people thought would get here first. I did see an Instagram story post from Dalvin Cook's agency that they're in Miami with the eyes emoji, like you do when you're excited. Could mean nothing at all. Could mean something's in the works. Probably nothing, and probably Dalvin Cook is going to continue taking his time and being patient with the process, seeing if he gets a better offer, some more money that he's looking for, and then he'll play it out. And then maybe if he doesn't get that better deal, we'll just settle on what the Dolphins are offering and decide that with a hometown discount, a return home that he always wanted to do and always wanted to play, call Hard Rock Stadium home as a Miami Central product and Liberty City kid, then maybe that's what he'll end up settling on. But maybe that could take a couple more weeks. Training camp begins within 3 weeks, so the clock is ticking on that. But maybe Damian Lillard happens first. If I had to bet, I would say probably Damian Lillard first. I think the NBA free agency stuff, although this isn't a free agent, this is a trade, usually just happens these early days of July, and then things need to settle in so that other moves can be made, other dominoes can fall around the NBA. So I figure that's got to happen, and I think we see that other teams are making the trade attempts for Damian Lillard, and his agent is putting the word out there that, hey, Dame wants to go to the Heat. Just back off. This is what we're doing. We're working on how many teams we're going to get involved into that trade to make it happen.
Yeah, I think it'll be Cook first. Because we're a little over a month away. We're a little less than a month away from camp opening, and I think he's going to be there for camp. So I think the Lillard thing is going to drag on a little bit more, into maybe August, very early September, and then finally it'll get done closer to camp opening up there, and then that's what will then entice them to kind of get all of this done. I think that's the way it's going to go with Cook. How about this? Why don't we talk about this, David? Okay? Why don't we commend the Miami Dolphins? You know why I say that? Because Dalvin Cook wants to sign here because it's his hometown team. Sure. But just like Damian Lillard wants to go to the Miami Heat, and so did many other players over the last 25 years, 27 years since Riley's been there. And kudos goes to Pat Riley for creating the culture, the winning that's been going on for a quarter century, and you created an atmosphere that many, 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 many players want to be a part of. Many, many players have benefited from being a part of and have bettered their lives after with new contracts. And how about giving the Miami Dolphins a little love, because they've created an environment now with Mike McDaniel, with Chris Greer, with Tua, and the season that they had last year, even though the injuries and all of that, but they are now looking like a sexy destination now. It's not just, hey, I'm going there. Like for many years, David, they would come to the Dolphins just to collect the check, bro. They came here to collect the check, like Ndamukong Suh and many others. They didn't come to win. They came to collect the check. I think that is like turning, not completely yet. We can't ever compare them to the Heat. Nobody can be compared to the Heat. But kudos to the Dolphins, because they're at least creating the atmosphere that people want to be a part of. How about that?
Yeah, no, and I've written at length about that over the past two off seasons. Going back to, I think when I first started noticing it was the combine of 2022 last year. So Mike McDaniel's new around the league, and you're starting to see his personality flourish in all these national interviews that he's getting about a month into taking that job as Dolphins head coach. And all the prospects at the combine are talking about, boy, I love my conversation with the Dolphins. I hope they draft me and this and that. Of course, they end up trading those first two picks. So a lot of the guys we talked to, the Dolphins never had a chance at them. But sort of that mindset kind of transcended those draft prospects. And then it also went into the free agents, the veterans later down the road, that they kind of do want to play for a guy like Mike McDaniel. And at the same time, yeah, they want to go to Miami, where in the past maybe it was just to play a year in the sunshine, the nightlife atmosphere, everything else, and collect.
No tax state.
What's that?
No tax state, more money,
and the taxes and all that, and then factor in all those things. But then also now you have a head coach that you'd like to play for, and then now this is a team that's on the rise. It's got a roster that's really built
sexy
now and established. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man. I to me, because I was driving to Hialeah Park here, and I was thinking about this. I was going, man, Dame Lillard wants to come here, bro. Why? Because Pat Riley's made this place the kind of place that people want to come. If I'm Keon Dooling and my career's gone sideways, I go to the Miami Heat and I straighten out my career, and I'm off and running. I'm Eric Murdoch. My career has gone a little bit awry. I go to Miami, I straighten it out. I'm Isaac Austin. I'm Hassan Whiteside. I'm Dion Waiters. It doesn't matter who I am. I could be Anthony Mason. I could be Alonzo Mourning. I could be, Chris Bosh. I'm going to be better here than where I was. And so to me, that's the part that I think a lot of people are kind of overlooking. And, maybe the Heat takes some heat from people across the country because Damian Lillard took that stance. But don't blame Damian Lillard. Credit the Miami Heat for creating the kind of culture that real pros want to be a part of, because they know they're going to be better professionals because of it. And, I think the Panthers are already doing that too. 4 straight years of the playoffs, obviously a Stanley Cup appearance now. The Zito's done a fabulous job overall. It's so important to create an environment that people want to be a part of. Sure, everybody wants to make money, but you got to give players that hope that they can win, that they've got the proper leadership. And to me, that's where I'm looking at the Heat, and then I'm looking at the Dolphins going, hey, man, great job by you guys creating this kind of an atmosphere.
Yeah, and you use one of those key words, the culture that the Heat have established, the key phrase everyone wants to throw out there, Heat culture. And that was another thing, even from early when Mike McDaniel got into town, is I kind of noticed some of the similarities some similarities, some differences between him and Eric Spoelstra and their paths to getting their first head coaching opportunity. Although Spoelstra did it entirely with the Miami Heat, but came up through the ranks from whatever his position was in the video room at the beginning to then being Pat Riley's protege. And then Mike McDaniel, he had to work his way through different organizations, but so many different assistant coaching roles that he had to get that opportunity before just 1 year as an offensive coordinator in San Francisco. And kind of those young guys, innovative minds, and and picking up on some of that culture. That's okay to go ahead and look at another team in the same market that you're competing for the fans' attention, fans' eyes to say, yeah, I mean, there are some things that we can copy from what that organization does successfully. And you see that, with the Dolphins and, hey, even, I mean, Schumacher, what he's doing with the Marlins and the Panthers, like you mentioned, absolutely.
Yeah, and the Marlins, by the way, what Sherman said today, that he's willing to spend some. Well, dude, that's something that we haven't heard here in a long, long time. So if you all of a sudden are starting to put together a pretty good baseball team, and some of your guys are coming up from the minors, you made a really great trade with the Rays, and now you go spend, you start to create a culture that other people want to be a part of. So it's a lot of fun, but we've got to give them the credit when they are able to do it. You know what I mean? And I think people are so focused on what Cook wants to do or Lillard wants to do, and maybe not focused on why they want to do it. They want to do it because where they want to go to, those places are hot. They're looking good. They have prospect. They feel like they have a shot at winning. I think that's really important. All right, so I got a question for you. Who's the guy? Could be a guy, could be a young guy, could be a second-year player, could be a rookie, could be a guy that has struggled for a year or two. Who's the guy that you think, hunch says, gut says, will break out this year? Who is that?
Breakout. Does it have to be someone that has been with the Dolphins and we haven't seen it yet? Or
because, like I said, somebody that they just acquired, somebody that just got drafted, somebody that's been here 2 years, 3 years, somebody that's kind of struggled a little bit. One guy that you look at and you say, I think this guy's ready to turn the corner. Who is that guy?
How about Robbie Chosen? I think he had a very good OTAs and minicamp session. Seen him make so many plays. Obviously, he's going to get, I mean, the targets maybe will be a little bit limited when you're playing in an offense with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but just the different type of receiver that he brings, the long, lanky 6'3", but then he can also take the top off of defense. So I think, he still brings that speed that Mike McDaniel wants in the offense, and but just he can also, Tua can just throw it up to him and maybe
high point it.
Yeah, right. And high point a ball, get it up over in a possession type of situation over receiver. So maybe some of those situations that would have gone to Mike Gesicki as a tight end, although he didn't get very many snaps in this offense, but except it's coming from a true receiver, not a tight end that the Dolphins want to depend on so much in blocking in the outside zone. So he kind of interests me just because we've seen the talent for those years, and with the New York Jets, that first year in Carolina before things kind of haven't gone his way the last couple of seasons, and maybe just this culture that is being established with this team and this change of scenery back home, it could just be all the right ingredients to get him back on track. So
all right. So if he does get back on track and he is playing well, he may have to fill in for one guy in number 10, Tyreek Hill. What do we know, bro? Because everything's mighty quiet. Drew Rosenhaus was on again this Sunday. He had an opportunity to kind of say, yeah, he's innocent, and did not say that. They stayed completely away from it. So what do we know about this situation? Because it's been very quiet here on the Western Front, as they say.
Yeah, same. I mean, I just very quiet, especially since last time we spoke Monday. We were kind of touching up on that. If anyone missed that, make sure you rewatch Monday's episode. But hasn't been any new reporting to come out. So Tyreek is still under investigation. I know the NFL is looking into it. Obviously, Miami-Dade has been involved in checking into the incident, the state attorney's office. So I think we're just kind of waiting around right now. So yeah, I mean Tyreek Hill has been pulling out episodes of his podcast. So he's been kind of operating his business as usual. We've seen videos of him training out there, Tua throwing to his receivers out at different parks and whatnot while the team is away from team facilities in these weeks before training camp. So I think he's kind of just operating the same way. Drew Rosenhaus has been making his appearances and obviously staying off that topic. So just nothing new on that front. Very quiet. So we'll be learning more as we get closer to training camp. And I think they want this settled before he has to make that first interview question answering Q&A
in camp?
training camp.
Yeah.
Because then that'll be something to watch.
Yeah, it all depends on what's going on in the courts and what this guy, if he's going to sue him or whatever, and that'll be a whole other mission. Although I still don't think this is going to be a big deal for Tyreek. I think at worst it's like a game. You know what I mean? I don't know when. I don't even know if it'll be this season or next season. And by the way, for you people out there, stop with the foolishness, because some guy goes to me, with our luck, they'll suspend them for a playoff game. They don't do it that way. So if it's a game, and if it's not resolved by this year, it'll be next year when he'll serve it at some point in the regular season. But it won't be a postseason game. I can guarantee you that. The NFL is not going to do that. But do you feel the same way, even though we really haven't seen the video yet? But I almost get the feeling that this is something that may cost him a game, not much more than that, if anything.
Yeah, if it's what is being reported, I mean, obviously, he shouldn't be.
No, of course not.
Yeah, right. The alleged slap on the back of the head, neck area. Yeah, obviously don't do that. But if that is what happened, if the video shows it, then yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, I wouldn't think it's something more than a game. And yeah, I don't want to speculate too much on because I don't know what happened. I haven't seen.
No, of course not.
Yeah, I mean, unless something more drastic is revealed,
right.
Then yeah, that could change things. But yeah, and like I said on Monday, I wasn't even thinking suspension wise so much until kind of a friend brought it up to me. Like, wait, do you think he could get suspended? And I said, oh well,
history, bro. History.
Yeah.
History. Right. If you didn't have the history, if there was no history of those two other incidents, then I would tell you no suspension.
Right.
But because
Draymond Green gets a different treatment than a first-time offender of like that playoff series when he swiped at LeBron, in the nether regions, then anyone else, that was an understandable play, but because Draymond has a history.
And if once the film comes out, optics and all that kind of crap, so the NFL will go with the optics and they'll at least, make it look like they're, disciplining him. So give him a game. All right, what do you got going on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, David?
So pretty much in about a week or so, week and a half, we'll have the Countdown to Camp series starting up. I'm going to be working on it already leading up to that. So myself and my partner, Chris Perkins, will be putting out 10 different storylines split between the two of us, 5 apiece, that will be rolling out in the 10 days leading up to the start of training camp. And then also just keeping an eye out for news, and Perk's got some columns that he's got in mind. On Dalvin Cook watch, Christian Wilkins extension watch. Does the Connor Williams thing get settled? Zach Sealer, anything else? And also just trying to take some time off. I got a bachelor party coming up the weekend after this one coming up, so that'll be a fun time in New Orleans.
That's right, and you'll be on Threads live for us.
Yeah. Does Threads have a live already? I
don't know, not yet. But by then they know you're going to be at that bachelor party. Yeah. So, Zuckerberg knows to have it live ready for you. So
I'll switch my account to private for that weekend.
I talked to Mark, and so he's going to have a camera ready for you.
Okay,
so
he's got it all hooked up for me.
All hooked up, all set, bro. So we're expecting, what is it? Hangover 4 is what's really going to happen.
Yeah, something like that. By next week, this time, I'll already be over there. So I think that Thursday show, when we talk again, then who knows what kind of state I'll be in. But
you're going to Vegas, right? Vegas? It's Vegas?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay, well, close enough. It's kind of debauchery. Yeah, just less casinos. That's all. So, that's it. But debauchery is still there. So I love the music. God, I love going to bars in New Orleans and popping in and just sitting there and watching people jam. Some good musicians there at times, man. So that is one thing I do enjoy there. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel and support him and all the terrific writers there at the Sun Sentinel. David, have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you for taking some time.
Likewise. Thank you.
You got it. There you go. The great David Furones, EJD Construction. We love Eric, man. Eric's been a really, 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 really loyal supporter of our program. He's been with us through multiple things that Sean and I have been doing. And EJD Construction, folks, if you live in Dade or Broward counties and you're looking for a company that can help you, whatever it is you want to do, expand your home, add a second floor, all kinds of things that I tell you. We had a listener, unfortunately, had a fire, so they had to actually remediate the entire home. That's like gutting it all out so you can rebuild it from inside, all those kind of things. They do it all. We're talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. In fact, one of our listeners in Broward, by the way, I don't know the name. I'm not going to say the name anyways. But they called Eric, and they are going to remodel their entire kitchen. So they're going to do a brand new kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So you maybe it's old and outdated. You got to call EJD Construction, folks. 305-433-4843.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.